Come on.
Jesus.
You
Rababa
call life
shada
out.
bada bada branda bada. Labranda bada shabada bada bada. Rababa bada bada shabada bada bada.
In the name of Jesus, we thank God for this great day that God has given to us. And we know that we are at the time that God is doing great things for us. And I know that God is blessing a lot of people through these sessions.
Yeah.
And we're almost at the tail end of the year. And we want to give opportunity for any other questions since we started, whatever questions you have. But let me welcome. Hey, these are Christmas. What do you call it? What's the name of?
This is a headband.
Headband. And yours is what?
Mine is a fascinator.
Fascinator. So this was a special Christmas fascinator. Okay, so Sarah and Sandra.
Yes, sir.
And happy belated birthday.
Thank you so much, Daddy. Thank you.
I like they were looking for you to give you cake. That day you didn't appear.
Oh, Daddy.
You disappeared.
Oh, I disappeared though.
You see.
Well.
So
I can take it.
Apro. You know, these are not cracked people. Okay, so we thank God for the Lord is doing.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm here for you.
Okay.
For any other questions.
Okay.
Since we started, whatever questions you have,
Yeah.
they can share with you. They can ask us, and we'll see if God will help us to answer them.
Okay. Okay. It's been an amazing year. I think it's been like 6 months since we started, and the revelation, the wisdom, the teachings, personally, and I'm sure for every member of this team, it has impacted our lives positively. And personally speaking, it goes beyond relationships. I'm able to identify some things that happen in my family, and those things that used to annoy me now I am more sympathetic. I now approach them with wisdom. I am now more understanding. So God bless you, Daddy.
Thank you. I was speaking to a lady yesterday, and she said something. She said, those things that used to annoy her because of understanding. And sometimes we get sick because of lack of understanding.
Exactly.
Sometimes we get high blood pressure because of lack of understanding.
Yes.
And sometimes when you have understanding, there are things you can change. In relationship, we say that if you cannot change, adopt. See it as something you accept it. If you accept it, it becomes normal with you. But when you are expecting a change, you are in trouble. You are expecting a change, the change never happens. By the time you realize, you start getting high blood pressure. Because any status, you get angry. But when you begin to know the person, know his personality type, and you adopt him for who she is or who he is, it becomes easier to now deal with the person. Then you know how to deal with the person, where to put. Because sometimes it's not everybody you put at certain areas. Even at work, you should know what a phlegmatic can do. You should know what a melancholic can do. You should know what a choleric can do. And if you don't know, you put a choleric. I remember I put a phlegmatic to lead a team to build my house. The first cost he incurred for me was about 50,000.
Wow.
The second cost was almost about another 50 or 60,000. And he didn't see anything wrong with it. Then I put a choleric there. He's doing everything. But the mistake I did was that the phlegmatic is good. He is actually a designer. He can draw. So they all have the same certificate. So what I should have done was to put the phlegmatic in where they can, because they are good in drawings. They want to sit alone to do their own thing at their own pace. So all what you need to do is to give them enough time. They don't want to be rushed. You know, I get it. And when I gave him something to do, he did perfectly well. Then go to use for proposal. He did it very well, very well. Because that is his area. They cannot lead people. But when you put them in their own cycle, in their own context, they can work perfectly. And they are also good in following, as long as they are not. But when you want to put them to candidates, you put yourself into trouble. Unless they can migrate from phlegmatic, they can move to melancholy. And you can even move from melancholy, phlegmatic to choleric. Depends on the environment and the situation they faced. Because temperament is not permanent.
So temperament is not permanent.
Yeah.
Wow, that is interesting. I'm still going to use myself as an example. I think growing up, I would say I was more a phlegmatic. And my mom used to say that, it's like when you put me at one corner, so first you're giving me food and water, you go back and come and meet me in that corner. I wasn't really, outgoing and wanting to do things for myself. But of late, I realized that I am no longer that kind of person. Now I want to be in charge of things, take initiative, and put myself out there. Every now and then, I do switch back into my phlegmatic mood where I am more.
It's normal. As long as that's the beginning point, sometimes you go back a little bit. And one of the things we also need to understand is that when we go back to the temperament, you can operate in different. I think those areas we didn't dive into it. Where I move, I outside I look phlegmatic. But inside I'm a choleric. So when you see me outside, on Becca side, he doesn't, for a boko or but don't come to my work site. Not in a working space. No. Those things doesn't work there. When I come to the working space, there you see that I want to meet my timing. I set a target, I want to meet it. I put myself to achieve it. When I give a word, I don't need a contract. I want to execute based on my word. I get it. And I'll put every pressure on myself to achieve that objective. I get it. And That because, like you just said, I also started as phlegmatic,
Mm.
but the experience of life
Okay.
have to, you know,
Changes you.
change, you know.
Okay.
So, and you have to learn it in a hard way.
Yeah, okay.
Some of you, God have blessed you. We are sharing some of these things, and you know that okay, this is who you are,
Okay.
but you can work it out. Every successful person is harder to operate with phlegmatic. Either you become a melancholy, or a choleric, or basically sanguine. But even with the sanguine, they operate with choleric sanguine.
Okay.
I get it. So.
Yes, yes.
So when you see me outside, you might think I'm phlegmatic. So people see me. So when people come to my workplace or come to the church, they get surprised because I'm not that, you know, I feel shy outside. I feel cool. I don't want to get. And when I go to places, I want to sit at the back. I don't want to go to the front because most phlegmatic are not front people. They want to always be at the back.
Okay.
Choleric and sanguine want to always want to be identified in front. So when I move out, those things plays. But when you come to my circle, you realize actually the person you think, you know,
Serious choleric.
serious choleric, you know. So those things, those things plays.
Okay. But I'm curious about something. I think in my life I've met a number of phlegmatics, and I just want to know: is it that when someone is a phlegmatic, they are not suitable for leadership role?
They are natural laid back people.
They are laid back. Okay.
They want to lay back. They want to always. So they are good at following. And like I said, to become a leader, there are factors you need to understand. You must be achiever, deliver on time.
Okay.
You know, you meet characters that you must accommodate. I get it. And so all these things come to play. And you know, most phlegmatic I've seen, or I know, including myself those days, when you say anything to them, they get hurt. And the next thing they push far back.
Oh, yes.
But when you operate with the choleric spirit, those things doesn't hurt him. It rather gingers him.
Okay.
So when you say that, he will analyze either it is good or wrong, either it is bad or good, whether what you said is a fact or it's not fact. So he will discover if it is a fact, he work on it and he improve on it and move on. But most phlegmatic, they don't look at it either it's a fact or it's not a fact. As long as you have hurt his ego, and that will push me far back, without he or she looking at that what you said, I get in is right or wrong.
Okay.
As long as it hurts his ego,
Okay.
either it is right or wrong, he will just push that and he will push back the more.
Okay. Okay. So, still looking at personalities types, let's just compare and contrast between a sanguine and, I mean, we know the phlegmatic and the choleric, we know how they play when it comes to leadership and all that. But between a sanguine and a melancholic person, which of these two people would you say make better leaders?
I would have gone for melancholy.
Okay.
The reason being that melancholies are most of the time also indoor, but they are what I call the perfect people.
Okay.
They are not that outdoor. They are not that noise makers, but they also set target they meet.
Okay.
They get things done. They are well-planned personalities.
Okay.
When it comes to sanguine, most politicians are sanguine. So when it comes to pulling people alongside, the sanguines will do it better than the melancholy.
Okay.
Because they are party people. One of the challenges I have with the sanguines is that when they make promises, they don't deliver. No, they want to hype people, they will hype the situation, but they don't deliver.
Okay.
You know, let somebody say, oh, we want to do this. The sanguine will give you all the hyping and promise that we will get it done right now. When he just moved out of the place, that is that.
Okay.
He has finished his work.
Okay.
As to how it will be done, I get it. You understand? So those are some of the things that we need to understand. I would have preferred more melancholy because melancholists are, I call them the perfect being. They are well planned. They are good managers. Let me put it that way. They are very good managers. Very, very good managers. There's someone who is a good leader when it comes to a place where you need. So when it comes to the church, evangelist, if the person is someone, you'll be a good evangelist.
Okay.
When it's a business or a business, you'll be a good marketer.
Okay.
Because he has not even seen the thing. But the way he will yap about around the hard pitch, as if he has used it for years. Okay. But he has not even seen it before. You know, if you watch any politicians, you can tell who is a choleric, who is a sanguine, who is a flake. You can even look at, when you look at the politicians, you can see all of them. All of them, the way they do their things.
Okay, Daddy. Since we are still on this temper, I think when we go deep into this temperament thing, it's actually going to take a whole day and even more time than we can even think of. I want to ask, in a case where you're already married and actually, whilst learning from this temperament thing here, you realize that actually your partner is the opposite of what you really want in a man based on his temperament. As a man or as a husband or as a wife, what can he or she do in order for the problems at home to calm down? Based on these temperaments, you find out that based on these teachings that actually your husband or your wife is actually know what you really want per this temperament, but then you're already married.
Yes. I think that most couples have chosen temperament they do not want. I mean, the phlegmatic has a problem with the choleric or the sanguine. The sanguine has a problem with the phlegmatic. The choleric has a problem with the phlegmatic. The phlegmatic has a problem with the choleric. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
So the phlegmatic would have wished to get another phlegmatic. So yeah, they pay once. I get it. But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. The phlegmatic subconsciously knows that he's not a pusher. So he wants somebody who can push a little bit. So for instance, the phlegmatic woman wants somebody who is a little bit out there, who can achieve. But then when she marries the man, it's like the man is too harsh. Because when now those things are being played on her, she cannot handle it. The same thing happened to the opposite sex. When every phlegmatic man, consciously or unconsciously, going for either a choleric or a sanguine, consciously or unconsciously, very few of them will go for phlegmatic or possibly melancholy. Okay, if it's a melancholy, it will even play for them better. But then they mostly go for choleric or sanguine. And now when that thing begins to play, because one of the things that happens is that the phlegmatic man is boko. Oh, the man is boko. He doesn't, disturb me. It is when now you enter into the marriage and it's still boko, then you have a problem with how boko he is. I get it.
Yeah.
So for some reason, in God's wisdom, we marry opposites. Just as we marry opposite sex, we also marry opposite temperament. Mostly. Okay. It's only that when you understand these things, then you tend to appreciate your partner. Somebody said something, and I'll quote, Dr. Robson said that sometimes when you have a tall wife and you're a short man, you supplement each other. When there's a watch that is tall, you don't need a ladder. You just have to get your tall wife to remove the watch for you. And then when you have something on the floor, you don't need to bow down and break your waist. You have a short man who can easily go down and pick it for you. So we supplement. I get it.
Okay.
I saw a lady, and I think the husband is very smallish. You know, the woman is tall. He can even use the leg to pull the husband. I saw it on the show. And you know, and they are doing well. They understand each other. You know, so sometimes the tendency is that, oh, because I am choleric. So sometimes we see the choleric as another choleric woman. If I'm a choleric, and I admire the woman. But the truth of the matter, if I admire the woman, we have a problem.
Okay.
Because the way my wife will become to do things for me, that woman will not have the patience for me.
Okay.
And that means that we have a lot of problems in the house.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Daddy, we are moving on to some of the topics we discussed during this period. And I think one of them is genetic effects and dealing with wrong family altars. I remember during one of these episodes, I think we had some powerful prayer session during there. But I would want to ask your opinion on family altars when it comes to there's in our families. You know, there are things that has been there generations after generations. Sometimes we learn to embrace it as our problem. We our order, so we can't do anything about it. As a pastor, as a counselor, and what would you advise someone do, especially when, as a lady, probably they think my family, we don't get married until after 50 years or so, or probably maybe we'll get married, but after some 5 years or 3 years, you are being sent back to your family's house. What should somebody do with this if he or she find him or herself in this situation?
Okay, so dealing with wrong altars, one, you need prayer. You need to get yourself involved in prayer. And then number two, you have to learn to do deliverance. But I always recommend self-deliverance. Okay, I always recommend self-deliverance. Deliverance is not with touching and falling. I believe I'm a fountain gate, I'm a pastor of fountain gate, and we believe anointing that we anointing. But you have to deal with deliverance where, you know, deliverance, when we talk about deliverance, it's not only physical, it's also mental.
Okay.
Okay, you have to liberate yourself mentally. I get to deal with it mentally, and then also apply it physically. I get it.
Okay.
Then number three, you have to also work on it, but you must pay the price. Now, let's say if you have 5 siblings, all girls, and this apply to all of them. And first of all, the Bible says that lack of knowledge, my people perish.
Yeah.
So you must have knowledge, which means you must know that this is what is happening.
Yeah.
Okay, if you are knowledgeable, then you must be ready to pay the price.
Okay.
Paying the price means that somebody, anytime you are paying the price, one must die for to change the dynamics for the next generation. For Christ to change our dynamics, He died for us. Are you getting it? If you are not ready to die, that means that it will continue. Are you getting it? So, and that means that family, whether you like it or not, you find yourself in a wrong marriage, in a way, in quote. So, which means that you need to vow that you will not come out of that marriage, no matter the circumstances. Now, I pray that it is not somebody will ask whatever is an abuse, physical abuse marriage. That's what that one. That one I cannot say much about it because, but if you get to know, if it's not only an physical abuse marriage, then I'll tell you that do well to go through the marriage. As soon as you're able to go through the marriage, then you have changed the narrative from your descendant. It can happen to others, but your descendant it will change because you pay the price. I get it. Normally, people that are not willing to pay the price. One day, a lady called me and said, "Oh, Daddy, I want to go on divorce." And I asked, when I checked the background, it was there. I said, "Okay, two options you have. Either you come out and be free, and your children will pay the price, or you pay the price for your children to be free. Choose which one you want."
Okay.
Are you getting it? Either you choose the price, you pay the price, or your children pay the price. So you choose which one you want. And he said she'd rather stay
Should stay and pay the price.
and then pay the price. And thank God she has managed the skill, because you see the thing is that now that she has accepted it, she has found a way to accept it, and
Yeah.
it's not becoming more better, and she's doing well. Those things, those days, you should think about it. So worrying her, disturbing her work, and a whole lot of things. One day, a mother of mine, also a very good, how do you call it? What's the name? Worker. She also used to go through that, and she come. I said, "Osofo, thank you very much." Now, because something happened, in those days, she should have reacted, and this one. But so when the thing happened, even my husband was surprised that I didn't react. I said, "That's information for you. That's
Wow.
knowledge."
Wow.
I get it.
Yeah.
So this I teach you need to do. You must be ready to pay the price and change the narrative. So you realize that after you, your children's story will change, but other people's story will still be the same, unless somebody also begin to pay the price to change the narrative.
Okay. Wow. But this issue of genetic effects and family altars, I know that in 2 Corinthians it says that when somebody is in Christ, the person is a new creature, and that all things have passed and all things have become new. So why is it that even after somebody is born again, these family patterns and family altars still have effects over their life?
Yeah, they have effect because you have to deal with it.
Okay.
If God buys your car, you're not the one come and drive for you.
Okay.
It is you to exercise your authority and then take your liberty.
Wow.
That's what I also work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. The salvation has been given to you, but you need to work on it.
Wow.
So if you don't work on it, that means that it has not been given to you. It is for you to apply your authority and
Okay.
take over.
Okay.
That's why I said that you have to first of all do self. And I said deliverance is mental. That's why I use the word mental. Because one of the things that the devil will do is that he'll put you in pain. If the devil want to put you in bondage, the first thing that he does mental bondage. One day a pastor, father of mine, Pastor Connie, said something. He said, when you tie, today we have cock, we have chicken. Today we have chicken, so we don't have the cock and hen. So let me use the old language.
The fowl.
So let's use the word fowl. When you tie a fowl for a long time, a very long time, and now you release the fowl mentally thinks that he's still tight. He will still be sounding. I get it. Even when you are trying to push, hey, go, the fowl still be standing, thinking that it's still tight. Until the fowl come to
The
realization that no, I have been loosed. Before, someone gave a proverb that when you are chasing a guinea fowl, it forgets that it has wings to fly. Do you understand?
Yes. Yes.
When you are chasing a guinea fowl, it forgets that it has a wing to fly. The guinea fowl is the same bird in the forest called Aquafidia. Aquafidia flies. I don't know how they call Aquafidia in English. Let me see those who I get it. So they all fly, but the guinea fowl forgets that it has a wing to fly when you're chasing it.
Okay.
I hope you understand.
Yeah.
So it is mental situation that we need to work. If you know that you have your liberty, you have to exercise.
Yes.
Because the devil will always use that thing against you, that you're still in bondage, But the liberty will be given to you. Apply it.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. One of the topics that I liked so much is the nature-nurture controversies. Because you find siblings in the same house, raised by the same parents, but they are two different people. Even twins that you might be thinking they'll be identical in the things they do, raised in the same house with the same resource, same parents, they are very, very different. Daddy, if we are to compare nature and nurture, would you say that one is superior over the other? Or it depends on the circumstance? So I don't know.
Nature versus nature depends on many things come to play. We look at the genetic effect, and we also look at the environmental effect. Okay, so like you said, now that we are doing these exercises, then the way it used to be, a lot of things will change.
Yes.
So your siblings who used to know you will start wondering what's happening to you. Especially when there are things that you gloss over easily. You will not say, you will not talk about them. This time you want to make sure you point everything out and want to make sure that the things are correctly. Now I can state that one is because of your level of education. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So now that you are pushing your education further, there are things you are learning.
Yeah.
And I get it. There are things you are learning, and you realize that no, the thing you used to do, you know, and then so the environment is what have helped you to change. I remember when I was doing, anytime you pick people in your workplace and they are new, especially also that's why most businesses don't like new people, because they come inexperienced and they think poor. Their way of thinking is poor, and anything you think, they think that you are punishing them, or because there are things they don't understand. So I remember when I picked a sister, a daughter, I love that lady as a daughter, and for some reason I'm mentioning it. And those times she did HR, so those times she used to always be at the side of the workers. I said, when you always were at the side of the workers, the business will lose. And when the business loses, you cannot take off the workers. Look at the side of the workers. Look at the side of the business. I said that look at the side of the workers. And draw a line. And wherever the truth is, you put it there. Then, lo and behold, she decided to further to do management course. And so one day, a client called me. She was like, what has happened to this sister? Those times when we have a problem with you, with me, you go to her and then she will, this time, he went there and the leading crowd was even more wondered than me. And he said, you know what, knowledge, because she's about managers and directors.
Okay.
And she getting to know that a lot of things she used to do was not helping the business. So now she's learning out of the knowledge.
Okay.
That's why knowledge is very powerful. So now it has changed the way of doing things, the way she sees things, and then the way she does the things.
Okay.
I get it. So I tell people, if you're in a relationship and want to travel to UK, US, or outside the country, sometimes the possibility of the relationship breaking might be high. Even in marriage, it does. Because by the time you get there, your environment changes, things changes, your way of thinking changes, and then you realize that the person you picked is wrong. Not that because the person is wrong, but because your environment has changed and the level of change.
Wow.
I get it. So it is very important to understand that. That's why when people are in a relationship, our advice depends. Even if people are in a relationship, they go to school, the possibility that the person will find another person better than you is high. Because by the time that you finish the school out of because of knowledge, you realize that things have changed. Unless maybe the other person is there and rather is trying to pull you along. So because when he sees that the knowledge level is too
The gap is wide.
he wants to find a way to bring you closer so that you can manage.
Okay.
So there is a genetic effect and environmental effect.
Okay. So there's one thing that has always, caught my attention. Now, in the same household, do you think that parents need to treat their children the same, or let's assume Sandra and I are siblings, the way our parents would raise Sandra, should it be the same way they would raise me? Looking at the fact that we may have different personalities.
Yeah, you just answered. The answer is no.
Okay.
You don't treat them the same way. If you treat it the same way, you have a problem. And sometimes also depend on how the environment you give to the children. I was sharing this story. A family I knew, when they gave birth to the first child, there were people around the child, the first child. So one of the things we realized that the child has very strong confidence. She is intelligent. She does it because one of the things that when you are around a child and you give attention to a child, it does that. It gives the child confidence, and the
Okay.
child grows with it. If it affects his or her academics.
Mhm.
The second child, unfortunately, didn't get the same environment.
Mm.
By the time that the child was born, the mother couldn't make time. There were not much people around the child. And when they left, the child was not hygienic. Sometimes this child can poo, and the poo will be on the child for the whole day.
Mm.
So the child grew up and didn't have confidence,
Mm.
and was also affecting his or her academic. And then the third child came. The third child had opportunity just like the first child. So that third child too has confidence and is good. So I told the parents that you don't. So they started. So the second child, because of lack of confidence, they use wrong stimulus or wrong models
Okay.
to express
Mhm.
themselves.
Okay.
I get it. They want to also be identified
Yeah.
because you come, oh, this one is good. He does or he or she does a work well, but this one doesn't like learning. It's because they didn't get the same environment.
Okay.
I get it.
Okay.
So you pay a little bit attention
Attention.
to the one who did get opportunity
Mm.
for him to feel loved
Mm.
and work on him or her
Mhm.
to bring her to the stage where he will accept that he can also make it.
Mm. Mm.
I get it.
Yeah.
So, and don't try to compare them.
Mhm.
You worsen the scenario.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay? Don't try to compare them. Don't try to compare them.
Okay.
If you compare them, you have a problem.
Yeah.
I get it. Uh-huh. That's why treat your children differently. Look at their style, look at who they are, and some of them can be in reading, others too might be good in maths.
Okay.
Don't so wherever the person is weak, try to push that aspect a little bit up so that they can get the balance and
Wow.
and they're good to go.
Okay, thank you so much, Daddy. I think Sewa and I were sharing that it seems that almost every individual has a personality disorder. That is the dysfunctional behavioral pattern. So where we have the antisocial personality disorder, the paranoia or paranoid, the narcissistic disorder, the dependent disorder, and then the obsessive. So I want to ask, probably just throw a little light on these personality disorders, and also if an individual finds out that, okay, I have maybe a dependent, let's say I'm using myself, maybe I have a dependent disorder, what should I do? Maybe minimize.
And sometimes you also play alongside our temperament.
Yeah.
I get it. So when somebody is dependent, it's likely a person will also have the tendency of being phlegmatic.
Mhm.
I get it. Okay. So what we do is that we try to do things on their own. One thing that those who depend and phlegmatic does is that they are afraid of mistakes. So because of that, they want to avoid mistakes, and because they want to depend on people to do it, so that they don't make mistakes. And one thing that matures a person is that you make a mistake and you correct it, and you do better. I get it. So if you have a counselor, one of the things the counselor will do is to let you take exercise on your own and allow you to make a mistake, and then you do the corrections, and then so when we were young, some of us that were, that had the problem of the same dependent and not having confidence, when we go for class and they give us homework, we don't want to even present our homework.
Yeah.
Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Because we are afraid that we'll get it wrong.
Mhm.
But the choleric and those people and the melancholy and those people who think they are good, they are not afraid of their mistakes. So they will take it, they get their mistake, they go back home to have to find out why they made a mistake. But the dependent or the phlegmatic in a way, we just go and put the book somewhere, we'll not even look at it. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
So what we do is that you become conscious of making a mistake and trying it. That's why that's why I said that when it comes to this disorders, they go alongside with the temperament in one way or the other. I get it. So so you can build confidence gradually. That's why I said that when you come out to Tampa, I said it is not static. It's not something you cannot change. You can work on it. Everything is possible to change. Are you getting it? So whatever it is, they will let you be practicing on how to make a mistake, correct a mistake, get it right, and try another thing. In that manner, you know, I get it. That's why I said that the phlegmatic, when you shout on them, they rather quail. Instead of confronting the situation and correcting, they rather quail. But if they get to know that, no, this thing will not help me, what they will do is that they will make the mistake. The shout will not be what will tell them, will push them back. But what they will do is that they will give it another try. That's how the choleric operate. So one of the things choleric does is that they are not afraid of mistakes. And they make serious mistakes. That's why the good people behind choleric are the melancholists. You know, melancholists most of the time are not that push forward personalities. They are behind you and they make sure that any mistake you make, they correct it. And then they move on. So every businessman has to get a good manager. I get it.
Okay.
And when you come to the business field, one of the good managers are accountants, where we go and make mistakes in taking some deals, and the accountant has to see how to correct those errors. But if he doesn't try, no business will come. This is what we find ourselves is actually is a try error.
Taking risks.
You're taking risk. If you're not risky, you cannot survive. I get in it.
But Daddy, still on this one, in a situation where people have certain traumas in our upbringing, as she said. Sometimes you realize that your parents did something to you, and it's so difficult to actually forgive them. It might be it might be that probably they took care of your younger sibling or your another sibling better than they did for you.
That's what you think.
Okay.
But sometimes it feels as if they love one child more than another, and sometimes it's so obvious. They like one child better.
So from even the two of you, from the background you are coming from, both of you likely might come from phlegmatic. Likely. But now you have migrated.
Yeah.
You have now that's how most phlegmatic think. That they love the other children than them. That's not something they queer.
Okay.
That's because when your brother does well, and they'll say, oh, he did well or she did well, you might think that you didn't do well. So I say they are praising him than you. So you interpret it to yourself that they love that boy than you. You see, in offense, it is not how the person said it. It is how you interpret it to yourself.
Okay.
Anytime somebody will get offended, it is not how the person said it. It's how you interpret it to yourself. No matter whatever word you use on me, it is how I interpret it. Will determine my level of my action. If I see that this thing doesn't mean anything, and I think what you're saying is not true, why would I be angry? Sometimes what the person said is not true, but I feel that this person has touched my ego. I mean, the person has looked down on me, so I want to show that you too, you get exploded. There are things you can just gloss over or walk over it. I get it.
Okay.
So the problem is the interpretation. I've been there before. I told you the world started as phlegmatics. And I felt that they love some people and they didn't love us. But when we grew up, we realized that it's all about interpretation. I get it. Yes, but the truth of the matter is that whatever you do good, they will comment one, especially the one who did good.
Yeah.
I get it. If you have two children and one came with 99%, in exams, another 60%. Who will replace? You only encourage the one who didn't do much well. But if you're not conscious of the fact of the one, you tend to hide the other one.
Exactly.
And if the person, that child also has to be the genius, it's even worse.
Yeah.
So sometimes the parents who, it's knowledge we don't have.
Exactly.
Sometimes the knowledge. He thinks that, oh, this one I've done, so let me actually appreciate. And sometimes you need to do that. And when you do it, my senior pastor said something one day. He was preaching about the prodigal son. And he said, when the prodigal son came home, and the father threw the party, the other brother was angry.
Yeah.
And asked him, the father, what have you threw party for him? You didn't give me any lamb, any goat, any cow to party with my friends. But this is your prodigal son. And my senior pastor said, so because he didn't know who he was. Because everything that was left was his. You don't need your father's permission.
Wow.
To go and then ask to go and take a car.
Wow.
Because he has divided two into two and gave the other one to the other college. So that child coming back has no inheritance in the house. He was only accepted as welcome to the house. But he did not know. The other side did not have forgotten that everything that is now the father is his. So all what you have to do is Daddy, today I'm taking one goat. I want to have some party with my friends. And that's it. And that is why if you don't know that things are yours, you beg for it.
I feel today's session is more about recognizing and being self-aware, because I think that is one of the things that from our children. So when you know that this is the kind of man you are dealing with, this is the kind of woman you are dealing with, you know how to meet them halfway. But if you do not know what you are dealing with, that's where you think that this man is a lazy man, he's not taking initiative. This woman is too stubborn, she's not allowing me to lead as the man in the family. Or this my child is behaving a certain way and is lazy. And it could be a personality disorder that the child is exhibiting. So that is one of the things that I saw.
Family of time, because one day a lady pastor from UK was preaching. And when she was preaching, I think she's a psychologist or a psychiatrist. And she worked with these hospitals in UK.
Okay.
And she said something that touched my heart.
Okay.
And with these people from UK, US, they have name for all this madness.
Yes, they do.
And some of them actually are purely demonic.
Okay.
If you read the Bible said that then Jesus casted those demons. The epileptic and those kind of things. It's a demonic thing. They casted it out. It was not a hospital thing.
Yeah.
I get it. It was not a hospital thing. He casted it out. So I realized that when it comes to the church, and sometimes not only the church, we have changed the arrangement.
Okay.
And the things that we must cast out as demonic, we are rather dealing with it as medical, which makes the situation more worse.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yes.
And when we come to the church, the things that are knowledge that we need to know and understand, we'll go to prayer ground and be praying about it. I don't know what I'm saying, if you understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get it. No, you and your husband, you have serious problems. It has to do with character and attitude. I get it. It has to do with character and attitude. You must get a counselor to help you deal with the situation. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
There are things that you need prayer to do. It's only prayer that can solve the problem. But there are things too that you need knowledge to handle.
Okay.
But we mix it. That's why we are saying that we want to define the rules. Where it is prayer, we'll so one of the things we'll be doing And we started early, but we couldn't continue. But it's to wherever it is prayer, we want to deal with prayer prayerfully. So when people bring a request that this is my problem, and we see that it is prayer, we are ready to call you and ask our prayer force to pray with you, to deal with it prayerfully. And the thing that we think you need knowledge, we have counselors who help you do the counseling.
Yes.
And I pray that God will help us to understand these things and we can divide it well. Because it's not everything that is by medical, and it's not only everything that is by prayer. That's why the Bible even says clearly that it's a lack of knowledge. My people perish.
Wow.
Are you getting it?
Yes.
Wow. Also, so whenever we get the chance to sit here, it's like time is limited. We want to have more time with you, Daddy, and we appreciate you giving us the chance to actually be here and to be able to ask you these questions, to enrich our knowledge and to also educate more people about the things that is going on that we actually need to know before taking certain decisions in life. And thank you so much, Daddy. But we would also want to ask your final words, also your Christmas message for us, and also your New Year message for us. Because the next time we are going to see it will be a new year.
Yeah.
Yes, so we want to ask all of this as we conclude this session with us today.
My prayer is that God will usher us into a new year.
Amen.
More healthy.
In Jesus.
I always say that before you can have a good nation, you should have a good family.
Yes.
That's why before you can get to 100, you must start from one. So the individual growth is more important. Then follow up with the family growth.
Yeah.
That is why we are focused on relationship and marriages, because people get bitter, people get wounded, people take certain decisions out of this, unfortunate situations. And when they can even get the right platform, they are not able to exercise the right things. So we pray to God that God will cause people to find their right partners and know what to do. And I pray that as we enter the new year, I want to see people enjoying their marriage, people enjoy their relationship. Those who are looking for husbands should find their husbands. Those who are looking for their wives should find their wives. And I pray to God that next year should be a good year for us. We are also believing God that next year will be a great year, that will come up with more messages. And I pray that wherever you are and you are hearing our voice, may the Lord, wherever your hand touches, you will prosper. And I also want to thank the crew, the team, very much for standing with us. Kofi and Kofi, Sami, Sewa, Sandra, Efia, Seth, and the other Kofi, I call him Lamont. So because when I call him Lamont, the one who brought the other Lamont in, we have to chase him.
We have to find the meaning of that name.
It's a drink. He loves it.
It's a drink.
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
It just reminds me, when I was in senior high school, my mom gave me some sardines called Talisha. That was the name of the sardine.
Yeah.
And it became my name for a very long time.
So because of that, I always forget his full name. So what I'll do immediately is that I have to type his full name alongside the Lamont, so I can always remember the. Because every time I want to call it the Lamont, I remember the other. So, but because I know it's Kofi, so that's a Nana Kofi. So you see how I struggled before. I remember Nana Kofi. So, and it's been a good team, and I thank you for all the media guys. That not only for Family Altar, also for the church. You've been a very great instrument, everywhere. And I believe God will take this work to the next level.
Amen.
And I know that God who blesses shall bless us greatly. And for those who are listening to us, what's the reason of we doing this if you are not listening to us? It becomes waste and then useless waste of time. But because you are listening to us,